Hey, tonight I have Alan Eoff, and he's an advocate that I've known for several years. Alan, tell me a little bit about your story.
So in 2017, my daughter was left in the car at a bar, and CPS gave my daughter, back to her mother the next morning.
Wait. Your ex was at a bar and left your child in the car?
She was on a date with a child counselor for abused and neglected children.
Wait, what?
He was a CEO of a foster kids camp for foster kids.
And they were at a bar and your little girl was in the car?
Yes.
Was
Then
it date?
some good Samaritan called the police, and they got my daughter out of the car. And CPS showed up. About 7 or 8 police cars showed up.
So what'd you do after that?
Well, once I saw my daughter, and someone sent me a news article about my daughter, and then I called CPS and asked to come pick up my daughter. They said I couldn't pick her up because they'd already signed a safety plan.
Wait, wait,
Um,
wait, wait, wait. They they signed a safety plan to supersede your parental right?
well, they signed a safety plan with the mother and said the only one who can override the safety plan is a judge.
But she was arrested for
Right.
leaving because she was at a bar and leaving your daughter in the back seat of the car.
They said they almost placed my daughter in foster care,
But
but
nobody,
at the
but
last minute they decided not to.
but you learned about this through,
A news article.
so the cops didn't call you. Nobody was like, "Hey, well, where's dad in
So the
this?"
the cops didn't call me. The news article didn't mention me. I actually called the news asking them to update the story with my comments, and they refused to. They told me the next time your daughter's abused, give us a call first.
What?
The media told me the next time the mom's arrested, please call us first so we can get your comments. But we're not going to add your comments for the previous news article.
And so, where are you now in your case?
In 2019, my daughter's mom moved in with the next door neighbor who has spent 2 years in prison for drugs and assault. In 2020, he was arrested for injuring his 2 children, allegedly by strangulation. I filed several TROs and several protective orders for that. All got denied. And he's been pending his criminal charges for 5 years now.
So you can take your child to the bar, leave them in the car, go have a good time with somebody who's supposed to be responsible of children. Dad isn't called, learns about it through a news article, tries to report it, no luck for dad on a TRO. Then she goes and lives with an abuser that abuses his own kids.
Well, a felon at that, an
Felon.
existing felon.
But they say you have rights and duties to your child, right? One of the things we talk about is your duty for care, control, and protection. And yet you're trying to perform your obligated duty to protect your child. And you have all of these state agencies that just refuse to listen. Is that why you're an advocate?
Yeah, basically, the judges get to decide when my daughter deserves protection.
So where's the case at now as far as the leaving the child at the bar?
So that got settled in mediation. Uh, my attorney, I was in a room with my attorney for 8 hours. And over those 8 hours, she convinced me to settle, and that the next time the mom messed up, I'd be able to get custody. And I asked my attorney, I said, well, what if my child dies? And she said, well, that's a chance you're going to have to take. So the next time the mother messed up, which was in 2019 and 20, by moving in with the next door neighbor who's already spent 2 years in prison, I went to go get custody, and for the past 5 years, the judges have said no. So apparently, my former attorney, who said the next time the mother moves up, messes up, you'll win. So far, she's been wrong about that prediction.
So now you advocate, obviously against child abuse, right?
Right. I met with about 25 legislators or their offices asking them to make child abuse not in the best interest of the child.
I
Currently
mean,
in
it's
Texas,
pretty self-explanatory, right? Make
it should
child
be.
abuse not in the best interest of the child because there's children out there that want to be abused, right? It makes sense. And what did those
Yeah.
legislators tell you?
Uh, Almost all of them have said that they would look into it and get back to me, and none have gotten back to me. The specific section that says that, in case people are wondering, is 153.04 paragraph E. It's rebuttable that child abuse isn't good for a child, which means it's arguable.
And what do you think of that?
I think it's crazy. Um, I've asked these legislators to give me some examples of when child abuse was in the best interest of the child, and so far they haven't been able to provide me with any.
And so when people talk about child abuse, um, a lot of them, you believe, aim their emotions at family court, right?
Right. So, you know, just like me, there's other advocates out there. There's people who desire to be advocates, and they think that there needs to be family law reform. And while that is true, I believe that the majority of the blame is not with family law. It's with CPS, the police, and the district attorneys. In 2023, there were 1,471 people who were charged with sexual abuse of a child that got deferred adjudication or probation.
Is that
That's
here
slap
for
on
the
the
that's here for the state of Texas?
yes. So people are getting warnings for sexual abuse of a child, and then basically the protective parent has to go fight that parent in family court due to the criminal judge's uh, negligence.
And so while you're pretty squeaky clean, right? You have a criminal record.
No,
And so now, do you feel like the system has failed you and your daughter?
absolutely.
And what if you could do something, what would you do?
Well, first and foremost, I would say that anyone who abuses a child shouldn't be eligible for deferred adjudication or pretrial diversion. They should have to go to trial and either get a conviction or not a conviction. They should get sentenced. So, you know, the penal code might say that if you commit this crime, you deserve 2 to 10 years in prison. But in reality, they're not going to a trial, and so they're not getting those sentences. They're getting like one night in jail, and then 10 years probation, or 5 years, or 2 years probation. And so for the children out there that are being abused, they're really being failed more by the criminal courts than the family courts. And most people just don't think of it that way. It takes a while to really sink into your mind that you were told to go fight crimes in family court.
I mean, it sounds pretty dumb, right? That um, they're going to dismiss it on the criminal side, but they're going to uphold it with a lower standard uh, on the family side, civil side.
Right. So, you know, they dismiss it in the criminal court, they dismiss it in the family court, and then that just gives you the opportunity to fight for the rest of your life, hiring attorney after attorney after attorney uh, to really try to protect your child. So the family court can hear multiple burdens of proof. They can hear a clear and convincing argument. They can hear preponderance argument. So I would still say that technically the family courts could still, restrict liberty, but it would have to be
I
brought.
think they do all the time. You know, they restrict parents' liberties. Um, you know, when they make fathers first, third, and fifth, and the father's asking for more time. Again, they're obstructing their duty uh, for care, control, and protection of their child by limiting them first, third, and fifth. And in the end, what do you think? What do you think the easiest solution for us to, um, I guess, advocate for or maybe attack? What word would you use to try to clear up some of these issues?
Really, change some of the criminal laws, like whether it be bond reform, whether it be bond conditions. So with bond conditions, uh, the victim during a pending criminal trial is supposed to get reasonable protection during that pending criminal trial. When my daughter was left in the car at the bar during the pending criminal trial, she wasn't offered any reasonable protection by the DA in the form of bond conditions. So while family court reform is is nice and needed, I think people who deal with abuse primarily need to focus on criminal court reform.
Well, that's an interesting take, Alan. Uh, Thanks for talking with us tonight. I wanted to get a little bit of your story out, some of your views, because you always bring um, things to chew on. You gave me some things to chew on. Hopefully, we gave some others some things to chew on tonight with this little topic. Interesting topic. This is Alan Eoff. Thanks, guys, for watching, and we'll catch you later.
Thank you.